some big updates with potentially major implications as multiple free agent talent were backstage at AEW events this week, leading to speculation about their status or future with the company. We have the latest about who those talent are, what exactly is going on. We also have an update on one former WWE superstar's contract, which seemingly has expired. We also are going to talk about their future and a TNA star that recently re-signed with the company, why that may happen, and why is that a trend that we could see happen in 2025 with other TNA talent. We're also going to talk about a major story coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, as it looks like they have lost a major TV deal, and it's going to be a little bit harder to see New Japan Pro Wrestling in the United States. All the details, everything you need to know, and more right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's begin by talking about the talent that were backstage at AEW events this week. We now know, according to PW Insider, Mike Johnson and company have reported that Samantha Irvin and Beth Phoenix were both backstage at AEW Dynamite last night. This coming off the heels of AEW World's End, where there were other major talent who were backstage, some of whom who live in the area. And this is something that I think, many people initially are going to look at this and be like, whoa, what's going on? Why is Samantha Irvin backstage? Why is Beth Phoenix backstage? Is something going to happen? Well, the answer is a little bit, it's a little bit obvious. Samantha Irvin and Beth Phoenix obviously are both partners of some of AEW's biggest stars in Ricochet and Adam Copeland, or Cope, as he has now changed his name to. And it is not out of the realm of possibility. It's not out of the realm of belief that they are just there visiting their significant others, supporting their significant others. It's also worth noting Beth Phoenix lives in the area. She lives in the North Carolina, Asheville area. So, again, that is the most likely reason. However, I also do believe that there is potential for both of these women to eventually join AEW. While I do think there's more of a chance that Beth Phoenix ends up joining as potentially a part of this Death Rider storyline, I do think that them being backstage, getting a feel of how things are, and again, they've probably been backstage before, but, especially during this time where the company is, reevaluating things, they're trying to do a fresh coat of paint, trying to reimagine what AEW is. We saw the changes to production last night that really showed you that this is a new era for AEW. They are trying to be better. They are trying to show you that this is not the AEW of 2023. This is not the AEW of 2024. They are trying to kind of reimagine the image of the company, and with that, I think, is going to be trying to recruit other stars. And Beth Phoenix, I'm telling you, is a name to watch out for. I do believe that when push comes to shove, eventually we will see Beth Phoenix involved in a story in AEW. And I think that it would make sense for her to appear in the company and potentially do a story with the Death Riders, but specifically Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir has been running a rough shot in storyline in AEW for a while. She has been virtually untouchable over the past couple of months, ever since this Mox Death Rider thing started. And I think a perfect foil to that Death Rider, femme fatale, whatever you want to call her, but enforcer really is what she is. The perfect foil to her would be Beth Phoenix. And I think that there's a lot of story to be told there, and that's a good match. Marina Shafir versus Beth Phoenix would be awesome. It would be dope, and it would get a lot of people talking because Beth Phoenix is a star. She's a former Divas champion, world champion, whatever you want to call it, in WWE, and she has the cachet, she has the notoriety, and I think if you're building up to a big match, whether it be Revolution, whether it be Grand Slam Australia, wherever it may be, I think Beth Phoenix could help that significantly. We will see if that ends up happening. Samantha Irvin is another story. We know that she has some other projects that she has started. She's teasing online. But as far as she goes, I think it's clear that if she does come into AEW, it would not be as a ring announcer. She's made it clear that that is not what she wants to do. But when you have Ricochet embracing this new character and, doing it in a way that nobody thought it would, I genuinely think Ricochet going in and like stabbing Swerve Strickland with the scissors and just the visual and the image, it is genuinely, as a character, one of the best things he's ever done in his career. He's had amazing matches, and I love his matches. But as a character, I think, outside of the stuff he did with Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, I mean, this is right up there with that to me. Just this angle was amazing because it redefined who Ricochet was. It gave him a dimension that he was missing outside of just being a goofball. And it showed that he finally snapped. And having Samantha Irvin by his side, I think that could be game-changing potentially for both of them, because we know that she wanted to be a manager. We know that she wanted to do something outside of being a ring announcer. I think that coming in and potentially being a mouthpiece for Ricochet and maybe just being his special ring announcer and coming in and doing promos for him and being obnoxious together, that's perfect heat right there. That's perfect heat. And it allows her to also kind of see what she can do in that realm as well. So shout out to both of them. Hopefully we get to see them soon. And I say a lot of this as a fan. I really just want to see either one of them or both of them on my TV screen at some point, in whether it's in AEW or wherever. But we will see what happens there. We do have an update on a WWE, or former, I should say, WWE star. That being good old-fashioned Baron Corbin. Let's talk about Baron Corbin. He was obviously not released a couple of months ago, but his contract was not renewed. We were wondering when exactly his contract would be up. Well, now we know. He tweeted from his personal account. His real name is Tom Pestek. He tweeted the following quote: "I'm officially no longer under contract since I was not fired. I was told they were not extending. So if you're making a horror movie, let me know. Ha ha ha. New year, no contract. Let's see what we can create." So Baron Corbin, officially, it seems like a free agent, free from WWE, free from any obligations, now able to go sign with whomever he may want to. And also, as he stated in that tweet, potentially explore projects outside of WWE. And for Baron Corbin, someone who I would argue did a lot more than people expected him to do in WWE. He really overachieved, and I mean that in the best possible way. I think he's someone who he can contribute to any wrestling company, whether it be TNA, where I think he would be a perfect fit. I think him in TNA as one of their top heels, like, say what you want about him, he can work matches. He's not a technical wizard, but he doesn't need to be. But he can work matches. He's decent enough on the mic, and he's got this thing about him where he can get you to hate him, where it's not necessarily go away heat, but it's good heel heat. He does a very good job of playing a heel. I mean, just look at him. Just look at him. Come on. But I think Baron Corbin in TNA would be a good fit. Whether or not he goes to AEW, that would be, again, that would be a conversation that would need to be had. I don't think immediately. I think at this point, AEW is in a place where they don't need to just sign every free agent that comes their way. They need to worry more about fit. Who does fit their needs as far as free agency and their roster, considering who they already have, and who do they need to sign? There's no immediate need, in my view, to sign Baron Corbin. There could be, as far as the storyline goes. Who knows? But for me, I just don't see that. I think maybe down the line we can talk about it, but as of right now, I don't see Baron Corbin being at the top of the list of guys you need to get in the building or in the door. So we'll see what happens there. But of course, guys, we have to move on and talk about our next story. Let's talk about the last free agent, actually, before we get into our next story. AJ Francis, quick update, has officially re-signed with TNA. You may know him as Top Dollar from WWE. Really reinvented himself coming out of the Hit Row gimmick in WWE, became a free agent, was cut, and he's found a new life in TNA. And, it is what he has done. If you just go back and watch some of the best stuff he's done from 2024. I would say go back and watch the stuff he did with Joe Hendry when Joe Hendry would do his concerts, and he was like, I hope you get fired. AJ Francis's reaction to everything and that feud he had with Joe Hendry, amazing. Like, it really showed you that this guy not only understands what he's doing. He's obviously been a fan of pro wrestling. He hosted the wrestling, I forgot what the name was, but it was like the Wrestling Memento souvenir show, whatever it was. And he was so good at that in WWE. And you can tell that he's passionate about the business. He's a fan of the business. He understands it. And in the ring, he gets it. He understands his limitations and how to make the most of it as far as like the technical aspects of in-ring performance. And he's just hitting on all cylinders right now. He's a guy to watch out for. He's going to be a TNA world champion. Like, if I'm like, TNA, I'm not looking at Moose as the guy to be my top heel in 2025. I'm looking at AJ Francis because he's got everything it takes to be that guy, and he's got that innate charisma about him that you can't really calculate. I'm telling you guys right now, AJ Francis, real take endorse. As far as the talent goes, he's killing it. So we'll see what happens there, guys. Before we move on to our final story, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's talk about something I rarely talk about on this channel because they are ruthless with the copyrights. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's get into it and talk about their TV rights deal. We've been talking about AEW, WWE, their TV rights deals. Well, New Japan has a pretty major update in their TV rights deals, at least in the United States, and that is that it's no longer going to be on TV. We are now learning, courtesy of a report originally from Dave Meltzer, but now kind of built upon by John Pollock from Post Wrestling. He posted this, pardon the pun, on the website over there. The link for this is in the description. We're going to take a look at it. Access TV on New Japan Programming. Our agreement expired at the end of 2024. This signals the end, I should say, of New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access TV. Here is what the article says. Access TV will no longer be airing New Japan Pro Wrestling after the expiration of its latest deal. The news of New Japan Pro Wrestling departing the network was first reported by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio and confirmed to Post Wrestling by Access TV. A representative for Access TV shared the following when Post Wrestling inquired. We will not be airing New Japan Pro Wrestling for the foreseeable future. Our agreement expired in 2024, and we do not comment on the state of current or future agreements. So that is the representative from Access TV confirming that New Japan Pro Wrestling will no longer be on the channel. It has been on the channel for nearly 10 years, and it looks like the end of an era there unless they're able to come to some sort of agreement. We don't know what the future holds there, as it's stated in that quote. I look at this in two ways. Number one, I mean, if you're a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, you're going to find a way to watch it. I think that like that's not too much of a deal because it's not like Access TV was in like a million households or whatever, or millions of households or whatever. It was largely like a music video like channel for a little bit there. They've kind of deviated in recent years from it, but it's largely like a nothing channel, if we're being honest. As far as original programming, New Japan was one of the few like original things that they had going on, and I'm eager to see what the market would be for New Japan. I think there's a more likely scenario that they just end up putting everything on New Japan World and make people in the United States pay for that, and that would potentially allow them to distribute things on their own hand and kind of maybe use that as a proof point for potential TV negotiations moving forward in the United States. It is worth noting, obviously, their cash cow, their money cow is not in the United States. It is in Japan. They have a pretty big agreement with TV Asahi. Shout out to them for all the copyright strikes they've given me and channels like me. Hate them regardless. But it is going to be interesting. I do want to see like how they handle this because I'm not sure, again, how much of a priority the American market is in that respect. That's why they've kind of let AEW be like their American distribution for a little bit. But It's going to be interesting to see as New Japan kind of navigates these waters and tries to, again, slowly but surely climb back from where they were pre-pandemic. It has been, the pandemic hurt them a lot in more ways than one. The prominence and the rise of AEW also, quite frankly, hurt them in ways that they have still never recovered from, and it is what it is. We'll hopefully they're able to get back to things. I am going to be watching Wrestle Kingdom this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a full review show. I might talk about it on Sunday morning on Wrestling with Omer. So go check that out Sunday morning right here at 11:30ish, noonish. I'm going to be talking about all the stuff from the Netflix deal to Wrestle Kingdom and everything in between. By the way, that Pro Wrestling Noah show was crazy. Yo, go watch that. Go do yourself a favor. Go watch that Pro Wrestling Noah show. Omos killed it. Shout out to Kenta, who I think that was the best Kenta match I've seen in years. Regardless, this is a New Japan update. Not a Noah update, but go watch that show anyway. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. Do you guys think New Japan will find a new deal? Do you think they care? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you guys think about all the major free agent news that is coming out and that are probably broken since I've made this video. Let me know in the comment section. Until next time, though, thank you guys so much for tuning in and making it this far in the video. I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.